Could the Bulls be buyers at the NBA trade deadline? The latest reports have almost indicated that they might be. But welcome into the Bulls Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at 4 trade targets for the Bulls if they are buyers at the deadlines. And all 4 of these trade targets have been linked to the Bulls one way or another. Some NBA insider has wrote an article of them or about them, connecting them to the Bulls. So I've consolidated the top 4 that I think are the most likely if the Bulls want to necessarily be buyers at the NBA trade deadline. I know what you might be saying. How would they ever be buyers? Why would they be buyers? They're 4 games below 500 when I am filming this. This report from Joe Cali Hoops, who is connected with the Bulls, he said this. He said the Bulls are focused on unloading LaVine and reloading the roster. And I've always said this throughout the Bulls kind of trade rumor saga throughout this offseason is I do believe that the Bulls have 3 options. I think it's we are fully going to run it back, make no trades at all, and believe in this big 3 nucleus, which would be the biggest disaster and probably just the biggest malpractice this organization has ever done. Number 2, this report is you trade LaVine and you kind of rebuild and you retool this roster. That's what I think the Bulls are going to do. What I want the Bulls to do is take advantage of this trade deadline and trade every player of value and get the most young players you can and get the most draft capital you can. So the Bulls, it's looking like they're going to trade LaVine and try to get some more win now pieces. So I got 4 of them coming for you guys just around the corner. But I wouldn't want to say I got a bone to pick with Bulls fans since we are a young and up-and-coming channel here at Chat Sports, but it kind of pisses me off looking at the Heat report, looking at Celtics today as they are kicking our ass in the sub battle. First off, thank you to the 5,300 strong that we have accumulated over since this channel started last, I believe it was June I started this here at Chat Sports. But the Heat report, they're at 7,100, and Celtics today is at almost 23,000. So if you guys want to help me out, catch these 2, hit that sub button. It really goes a long way here. And plus, hey, I work with I live with who runs our Heat Report channel here, and I work with who runs our Celtics Today channel here. Nothing would make me happier if we could somehow catch them. A little David versus Goliath story. So if you guys want to help me out and you guys would just stay up to date around the latest Bulls rumors up until the deadline, hit that sub button. I would really, really appreciate it. It's free. You'll make my day, and you guys help me avoid an awkward meeting with my bosses. So hit that sub button. Let's dive into it. 4 trade targets for the Chicago Bulls. We're going to start it off here with Jerami Grant, the forward for the Portland Trail Blazers, and I'm a fan of Jerami Grant's game. Solid 3-and-D guy in the league. He's a good slasher. He plays more of a 4, but he can play some 3 if need be. And Jerami Grant will find himself on the trade block mainly because of how bad the Portland Trail Blazers are. And I think a guy like that could be very enticing for a team, that could view him as almost icing on the cake to get them over the hump. And I will say this. Jerami Grant just fits a need that the Bulls don't necessarily have covered off right now. In terms of just wings on the Bulls, it's really only Patrick Williams and Torrey Craig. And Torrey Craig's, he's an older role player, but Patrick Williams is more of that true 3-and-D where he can, hit a pull-up midi every once in a while, but he's really there just to, hit, catch, and shoot threes and to be a really A-plus defender. Jerami Grant, on the other hand, he can put the ball on the deck a little more. He can kind of create in the mid-range, create his own more than Patrick Williams can, and the Bulls don't really have that strong physical forward that can create for themselves, so it would make sense, hey, maybe the Bulls are looking at the Trailblazers situation, somehow a 3-team trade ends up going down where LaVine goes somewhere, Bulls get Jerami Grant and some picks. I would be absolutely all in for him. I'm a fan of him. Signed a hefty contract this offseason, so he couldn't have been traded until January 15th, but it's January 19th now, so he is on the trade block, and I do expect him to be dealt. It would just be interesting to see if it is Chicago. So, next guy up on this list, Dejounte Murray. I promise you, Dejounte Murray, when February 9th comes around, a day after the deadline, he will no longer be on the Atlanta Hawks. Whether it's, the LA Lakers we've seen connected to him, the Miami Heat we've seen connected to him, there will be a contender that wants to go get this guy. And the only reason I have him on this list for the Bulls is a potential Zach LaVine for Dejounte Murray and Bogdan Bogdanovic swap. It works out financially. Maybe the Bulls would have to throw in a first-round pick for the younger athletic guard in Murray, but I think it makes a lot of sense on both sides here. Listen, I think a Dejounte Murray and Kobe White backcourt would actually be very interesting. I think they complement each other very well. They're both bigger guards, and Kobe White leans more offensive, where Dejounte Murray leans more defensive, and you could still play Dejounte Murray off ball. I mean, he's playing with Trae Young right now, and Trae Young, obviously, we all know, has one of the highest usage rates in the NBA, but he's still able to put up these numbers. 21, 5, and 5 on pretty elite efficiency, shooting 47% from the field, almost 40% from downtown. He is having a career year shooting the basketball. So, listen, I would be a fan of him coming to the Bulls, but it's all going to come down to what you got to give up, where the Bulls roster stands after that trade. But maybe the Bulls just try to get more talent in this organization, and there might not be another guy, out there that is as talented as Dejounte Murray. But with the trade deadline just around the corner, man, what do you guys think? This is one of your guys' final times to predict it for me. Will the Bulls be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? Not what you would do, but what do you think the Bulls would do? Type B for buyers or type S for sellers? Something tells me these guys think they're going to be buyers at the deadline. So I'd probably type my B, but let me know your thoughts down below. I got 2 more names that the Bulls could possibly target at the deadline, but first I want to give a big-time shout-out to PrizePicks. If you guys head to PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, you're going to get a first deposit match all the way up to $100. What is PrizePicks? It is daily fantasy sports made easy. I use PrizePicks for every single game I watch. It's a ton of fun. And hey, there's football this weekend, and this is the lineup I'm rolling with for the divisional round games. I'm going more on Josh Allen passing yards at 237.5, more on Dalton Schultz at 36.5 receiving yards, and then less on Aaron Jones rushing yards at 73.5. I think he's going to come back down to reality a little bit. But hey, if you guys want to ride with my picks, or if you guys want to fade my picks, you guys know where to do it. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS. You'll get a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, it's daily fantasy sports made easy. Number 3 on the list is Scary Terry. And I know what you're saying. I could already see the comments now. We don't need any more guards. Why would we trade for a guard? I hear you. In this trade, hypothetically, it would be the Bulls getting Terry Rozier and picks back, and the Bulls would be shipping off LaVine to Charlotte. So this could almost be I don't know. I honestly, Scary Terry would be an interesting option, because I think he could be a guy the Bulls trade for in a LaVine trade, and then they trade him again. Like, I could see the Bulls, like maybe the Lakers, for example. Maybe the Bulls send LaVine to Charlotte. They just want to get another winning player, get more talented basketball players in the organization. They send Terry Rozier the match salary and picks, and then the Bulls take Terry Rozier and they ship him off to, let's just say, the LA Lakers, who are reportedly really trying to get another guard in their locker room right now. So Terry could be an interesting one in a LaVine trade to Charlotte. He's actually having a career year right now, averaging 20+, 7+ assists per game. He's an absolute bucket getter. We remember what he did with Boston in that one playoff run. He was absolutely fantastic there. But he's a name that probably will get dealt at the deadline. So just keep your eyes on him. Maybe the Bulls do get in there, and then maybe a little double trade for Scary Terry in Chicago. Number 4 for me, another guard, Malcolm Brogdon. Now, this would, again, the trade where I found this article where the Bulls landing him was a 3-team trade where they send LaVine, I think it was the Lakers or Sixers. Bulls get Brogdon and a bunch of picks. But again, this is the same camp as Scary Terry, where I do think the Bulls are prime candidates to trade LaVine somewhere and get like one of these guys like Terry or Brogdon in one of these deals, and they can almost flip them in a future trade before the deadline does pass. So do keep that option available that, these last 2 guys on the list are probably like double trade guys where the Bulls would trade for them and then trade them away, where I do think Jerami Grant and Dejounte Murray would be trades that the Bulls make where they're saying, you know what, we're going to ride and die with these cats. But I just gave you guys 4 names, and maybe you guys have another one. Because we always talk about, like, what could the Bulls get back in the trade? But what's a guy out there right now who is a player that you want the Bulls to trade for? Name him down in the comments section, and I'll respond to everybody who does name a player you want the Bulls to trade for. Guys, like I've been saying, though, trade deadline is so soon, so make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. We are planning on actually going live for the trade deadline day, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Don't want to miss that. Tons of trade rumors around the Bulls. It's going to be fun. Bulls are going to pick a direction to go here any day now, so make sure you guys are subscribed. See y'all next time. Go Bulls.